Luke, we sit here and we're talking prior to travelling to Wrexham on Saturday, but pre-season came before us. How did you feel your preparations have gone this pre-season?
Yeah, I think we faced adversity in Wingate and Billericay with the goals conceded, the losses. Come through sort of a tricky spell at Concord. Again, it was very much spirit, minutes and teams that were going out. And I felt that you've probably seen the best of us in Slough, Finishing Touch, Peterborough, and I thought we had an accomplished performance against Welling on Saturday. The performances have been good the last 4 to 5, 3 clean sheets in the last 3. Obviously the winning 5 out of 5 from your last pre-season games have been good, but the main thing is we're going into Wrexham with no injuries, and that's something that I feel that a lot of managers in the National League, and I spoke to one today about his squad, and he's got 6 to 7 that are out for Saturday. So yeah, that's a headache that we haven't had to deal with. I think we've got Zane, Gus, Corey, Shaq more into the way of working, how we go about our business. So yeah, I think it's been a success. Focus, like you said, turns to Wrexham excuse me, on Saturday, and yeah, there are no mugs.
So we look at pre-season as a whole, but at the end of last season you wanted to keep much of the squad the same. We finished last season strong and obviously made the playoffs. How do you reflect on your off-season recruitment as a whole? Yeah,
I feel that keeping the likes of Jamal, Femi, Champ, Steve-O, Ricketts, Kieran, Kane, Sorba, Cabs, Woody already in the building. Then you had Ashmore early on in the off-season, which was a massive, massive plus. Reedy then goes and agrees a deal again from your goalkeeper to top of your pitch in Reedy. 2 men, 2 very experienced players at this level. I'd say they're up there in their category as being one of the better goalkeepers and strikers in the league. And then you go and add Gus Mufata, Corey Whiteley, Zayn Angol and Shaq, who Corey goes and has a year like he did at Ebbsfleet and Dagenham. We've got one hell of a player. Shaq goes and has the stats that he's had at Barnet. He's a 1 in 3 striker. If we can get him wheeled out 40 odd games a season, then we're going to get a return of 15, 16 goals, which I think would fill the gap of Tyrone Marsh. You look at Zayn Angol, great competition now with him and Sorba down the left-hand side. He's played National League for the last 2 to 3 years, went on to Accrington Stanley. He's coming back now to ensure that he goes and plays consistently at this level. So yeah, I think the acquisitions have been very good. I think the business that we've done has been cute. We didn't rush things. Had targets, I have to say. Gus, Zane and Corey were probably on the top of my list. Shaq come late because he was flirting with Orient in the off-season and in pre-season, and he went and earned himself a deal. So to add that to the group that we've already got in the building, I said it earlier and alluded to the fact that they need to get to the way of thinking in terms of how I play, how we set up. I think you're seeing that in the personnel. So yeah, I think the off-season's been positive. They're a very close group. The Peterborough performance, the Slough performance will show you that the understanding's there, the team ethic, the togetherness, the commitment, and yeah, we need a bit of lady luck. That comes with not getting suspensions and injuries, and yeah, we need to hit the ground running come Saturday against Wrexham.
So, as you alluded to, focus now turns to Wrexham on Saturday. This off-season, they've brought in familiar faces in Adi Youssef and Anton Jeffrey. They've also added Durrell and Kelleher. What are your thoughts on Wrexham, their recruitment, Dean Keats and the threats that they pose to us on Saturday?
So you talk about Theka Kelleher, Theo Fussell, didn't add Theo Fussell, Kwame Thomas, Adi Youssef, Anthony Jeffries. Good personnel coming into the building. To an already good squad, you've got Pearson, you've got Jay Harris, who are 2 men. Again, I speak about men at this level that know it inside out. Carrington, who again, I think he's 300 games deep for Wrexham. So they're a big side, big side. Dean Keats has got them playing in a certain way. We watched them against Kiddie, we watched them against Telford and Druids, highlights of their Druids game. Yeah, they play a certain way. He's changed shape in a game. They'll offer threats, a lot of threats, but we need to make sure that we're We'll deal with them at the best we can, and we feel they have weaknesses, as do we, as does any other team in the National League. So it's how we deal with their threats and nullify that, and how we can exploit their weaknesses. You speak about all them players, he's probably wheeling off all our players. We got calibre in our dressing room that people would probably want in their dressing room. So yeah, is it going to be a tough game? We got 46 tough games. I say it week in, week out, year on year. The National League is relentless. No matter if you're playing Wrexham, Maidenhead, Willstone, Kings Lynn, Yeovil or Notts County, every single game is tough, and they're going to be tough. They probably have ambitions to do better than where they were last year. I don't know where they were finishing. I think they was in and around the 17th, 18th position prior to the curtailment of the league. And yeah, I can imagine their supporters, him as a manager, their board would want to get into the playoffs and beyond, as does anyone when they start out the season. So yeah, they're going to be a tough test. They're a very good side. He's a very good manager. They have a certain way of playing. We need to ensure that we nullify that, and we need to play our game. I think if we get ourselves in gear, if we get to our levels, yeah, it will take a lot to match us. And you see that when we play Slough, when we play Peterborough, when you play Welling on Saturday. So for me, I honed in on today about where we can hurt them, where we feel we can exploit their weaknesses, and let's hope that we deliver on the day. Our game plan beats their game plan and we come away with 3 points.
So we, of course, played in a behind closed doors environment against FC Halifax and then against Harrogate. Ourselves and Wrexham, again, have played in behind closed doors environments during pre-season. Coming to the first game of the season, and typically if we were travelling to Wrexham in a normal environment, there'd be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people there. Whose hands does that play into, or at this point, does it not have a benefit towards any set of players and management?
Yeah, listen, I've been at Wrexham, 4 or 5 times now. Their fans are relentless. And I mean relentless. They're on you. Me as a manager, as the team, and when they have a little spell, they get right behind them. So I have to say, does it aid us? It doesn't aid us. Does it take a little bit away from the home side? In particular, the Wrexhams, the Chesterfields, the Hartlepool, the Notts counties of the National League, Stockport, who have a big following, possibly. Playing against Halifax and Harrogate in the playoff games, it was different. It wasn't nice. I can imagine we all want fans. Having a home fan base behind you, of course it helps. Of course it assists you, because it might throw the ref in giving you a penalty or a decision in your favour. So yeah and no, I'm not alluding to the fact that there's no fans there. We've been in the environment, as you said, in the playoffs, and we've played 7 games now in pre-season. The only fans we had was at Wingate. It was lovely having them there, but yeah, there's no excuses on my part. Home or away, there's got to be a mentality that we deliver, we set the tone, we get our tempo going straight away, because yeah, when you're having a bit of a lull and then they have a little gear up, being your home fans or your away fans for that matter, because I think our away fans are fantastic, the ones that travel. So we'll miss them just as much as they'll miss their home support. But yeah, the boys have been in and around it now. There's no excuses. There's no one going to be there. They're going to hear my voice even louder than what they would do normally, as opposed to when there's fans in the building. But yeah, is it probably a bit of an upset for Wrexham because the 4,500, 5,000 fans there can have a say? Yeah, they can, because I've been there, I've been involved in it, and by sure they do. But yeah, we need to make sure that we're ready, we're setting our tempo, and there's no pre-season feel on our part. I don't want it going there like a testimonial game, tippy-tappy. It's a National League, we're kicking off the season, ready to go to work, and that's where what we've been gearing them up for the last 7 games, the last 5 weeks of pre-season, and we'll finish that off tomorrow's session, ready to travel down to Wrexham.
So there was discussion during the week and the week prior as to whether the National League will start and a government package being put together. We had the reassurances this week that the season would start. How thankful, how much relief does that give you that the National League season is actually starting?
I spoke to Neil Smith on Wednesday, spoke to Darren McMahon the other day. I listened to Neil Ardley in a managers meeting. You can see it in everyone. We just want the season to start. We've all worked hard. No one more than anyone else. Every club is going through that rigmarole of protocols, procedures, roles and responsibilities, as is every management team, staff and players. They're gearing up for October the 3rd. We were set to start September the 12th, and I know because I had to change my pre-season from August the 10th to then August the 29th. So we had a little slight dip in terms of our organisation, but we managed it. We controlled the controllable and we got games in. So if they were to then say we're going to postpone it for a certain date or 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time, yeah, I think it would have been tough and harsh on a lot of people, because I'm not saying that we are elite athletes playing at the Premier League level, but we still have a programme to adhere to and ensure that we're hitting full tilt come October the 3rd. And that's what I've said in every interview. We've had a programme of 5 weeks where we've built people into their minutes, built people into their sessions. We've taken them to the nth degree to ensure that they're playing tired, making decisions when they're lack of energy, lack of oxygen to the brain. And now we're gearing up for all the detail. And that's what this week's been. In terms of Wrexham, we've touched on things, set seeds on Monday, Tuesday. We implemented it again today. And tomorrow we will go again about how they set up, where they set up, how they do things on throw-on set pieces, corners, free kicks. And then to be told you ain't starting would have hurt. So extremely thankful, superb news. It isn't over till it's over. So let's hope we are starting Saturday, because I think everyone needs it. I need it more than anyone, because getting out of the house, doing what I love doing and getting back to playing football for 3 points is huge.
So you mentioned October the 3rd and hitting the ground running. Rewind over a year ago now, we travel to Torquay and we lose there. We don't get the greatest of starts, 8 points from 9 games. How important is it that we start well this season?
To do what we want to do, very, very important. We want to be competitive, go 2 better than last year, 1 better than 3 years ago. Because everyone, like I said, Dev at Maidenhead, Danny Searle at Aldershot, what's to say they ain't going to go and win it? You set out to win the league. So for anyone in that National League, Neil Ardley, Darren Sarlett, Yeovil, it's important that you start the ground, hit the ground running. 8 points from 9 games last year weren't good enough. Our discipline was poor. Conceding goals, sloppy. I think we eradicated that in pre-season. We look stronger, we look more well drilled, but we have a settled side. So I have to temper that with a few things that have gone on in pre-season in terms of the split teams, getting a little bit more of a settled side now. People are identifying their strengths, their weaknesses. And go back to your question, if you want to achieve, you need to ensure that you're hitting your points tally. We've given the boys a target, first 10 games, where we want to get to. We spoke about that on the first day of pre-season. We've touched on it ever since, and they know the rules. They know the rules. More so for us, we don't play Tuesday. We don't play Macclesfield on Tuesday. So we need to ensure that we get point on the board, because effectively we're going into Saturday with 1 game as opposed to everyone else's 2. So the mindset of that is pretty important. So we need to ensure that we go there, play our game, get our performance level to the levels we can and what we know we can do, and the results will follow.